For this episode of Solitaire Quest, I was going to do a video detailing why the Timeless Children isn't canon, but instead, I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to speak to you. I'm just going to speak to you, the viewer, and whatnot. I'm the Blood Knight of the Old Republic of the Bloodganistan. And yeah, this is another episode of Solitaire Quest. Now, prior to the Timeless Children, prior to all that debacle, prior to all that, the Doctor was a Time Lord. A Time Lord from the planet of Gallifrey, who stole a TARDIS to explore the galaxies and the universe throughout time and space. And as he continued to travel through the universe, he saw bad things happen, injustices. So what did he do? He did the best thing he could. He solved the problem. He did the right thing. The Doctor did the right thing. You know? In a show about a man who travels the universe, exploring it, solving problems that comes his way. That's really it. That's really all the explanation we need for the Doctor's origins. And the Time Lords, we only read what we know. What we know is that Omega was number one. Omega was a stellar engineer who helped build the battery to power every TARDIS. Helped build batteries to build TARDISes. Or no, frig. He was a stellar engineer who helped the Time Lords ascend to where they were. And we have Razalon, the man who invented regeneration and was the creator of Time Lord Society. That's all we need. That's all that was needed. That's all the information that was needed for the series to keep going. Now, I haven't read a lot of the comic books or any of the novels. I haven't read all of them. I haven't read enough of them, unfortunately. Then they go into detail about things, but basically they pretty much fall in lockstep with the rest of the show, typically. Now, for Doctor Who, in a show where there's implied ambiguity surrounding the Doctor, the one thing you never do as a writer is you reveal the origins of the Doctor. It's pretty plain and simple, because you pretty much you basically turn the show from Doctor Who to Doctor, and that's just like what Chris Chibnall did. I honestly can't see any other writer trying to do the same thing with the character. I can't see them doing the same thing. Stephen Moffat, Russell T Davies, John Nathan Turner. Those were men. They they, they got what Doctor Who was. They got what it was. And they were fans of it themselves. John Nathan Turner, his success hemmed him into Doctor Who. But in all likelihood, it could have been It could have been worse. There could have been worse people to handle the show, Doctor Who back then, and we might not have gotten. We might not have gotten. We might not have gotten Doctors. We might have. Doctor Who would have might have been cancelled years ago without John Nathan Turner. I believe that. Now, those were men who respected the show. John Nathan Turner, Russell T Davies, Stephen Moffat. They were showrunners, and they respected the content that they were given and what they put out. John Nathan Turner, he came close he came close to giving us the origin of the Doctor. It would have made the Doctor a reincarnation of a third Time Lord between Rassilon and Omega. Which, yeah, not a direct regeneration, no, a reincarnation of this third other Doctor or other being. Honestly, that would have been tasteful, more tasteful than what we got with the Timeless Child, or children, whatever. Now, what reasons would you have to reveal the Doctor's origins? What reasons? What reasons are there? The only reason the only reason there is to reveal the Doctor's origins is to service the fans. To service the fans. That's the only reason why you would reveal the Doctor's origins, because the Doctor, his origins don't need to be revealed. He's just a wanderer who goes around through time and space, doing generally the right thing. Now, it's sad right now that actors like David Tennant, Matt Smith, other previous companions, showrunners Stephen Moffat, Russell T Davies. It's sad that they're not speaking out. That they're not speaking out against the terrible dreck we've got, because they are fans of Doctor Who. They got into it because of that. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why they're not speaking up, but I have a guess. I have a guess as to the reason why. Because if the moment they do that, the moment they go out of line, they're gonna lose money. They're not gonna get jobs. They're gonna get blacklisted by the BBC. They're gonna get blacklisted and yeah, that is effing sad. Because they're the people, they're the voices we need to hear from. They're as good as Doomcock is, as good as Gary is from Nerdrotic. We honestly need their voice. We honestly need the voices of past creators of Doctor Who and past writers. We honestly need their voices to be heard. We need their voices, and yeah. Now, striking to me that I was content to watch other YouTube reviewers tear apart the woke shit that was coming out, that was coming our way. I was content watching people tear apart the woke shit we got with Star Wars and Star Trek. I was content watching that. And for the most part, Doctor Who, I was content. You know, I only watched Doctor Who out of a sense of honor to the people that had to review this shit. You know? If they're gonna put their eyes and their ears to this bullshit, if they're gonna do that, then I'll watch it too out of solidarity. I did it out of a sense of honor to the people who reviewed this shit. Now with Doctor Who being completely and utterly trashed, it's odd to me that a show like Doctor Who getting completely trashed by its writers and caretakers. It is honestly surprising to me that I haven't said anything about Star Trek or Star Wars. And that I have not spoken up against that bullshit. It's odd to me that I didn't do that, but it's odd that I draw the line at Doctor Who. It really is. I only got into Doctor Who around 2007, 2008, within that time period. And yeah, they were replaying the old episodes of New Who, so catching up with Doctor Who was really, really easy at the time. They just replayed they just replayed those episodes where I watched it from. They just replayed it, and I got caught up real quick. I got invested in the show, and I saw people who loved what they were doing. People who loved what they were doing do what they love. You felt that when you watched old David Tennant episodes, and you felt that when you watched Eccleston and when you watched Matt Smith and when you watched Capaldi. You could feel the heart in those episodes of Doctor Who. The people there, they loved what they did what they did out of love, and it really showed. Now now how do I phrase this? Taking something that gives people joy. Taking something that gives people joy and destroying it out of political reasons because you honestly can. I find that shit despicable. I absolutely do. The people who look through the people who look through woke lenses into the people who see through woke lenses, they honestly miss the heart of the world that they see, that they look look out into. They honest they honestly miss they honestly miss the they honestly miss the point of the world of entertainment because they see everything as a political statement when it isn't. Is Doctor Who a function of the patriarchy? Fuck no. It is a show meant to bring entertainment to people. It doesn't matter what their race is. It 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 never mattered. Do you think at the beginning of any Doctor Who episode in the past, did they ever put on a marker or something, or some text in the beginning of an episode saying for white eyes only? No. Doctor Who is for everyone. Everyone who had a TV and who could watch it. Everyone who wanted to see adventure in time and space. It was for it was for everyone. And now that Doctor Who is being made for a very select group of people, a very special and select people that only care about politics, that only care about, I don't know, what they what they what other people get to enjoy. I don't The fact that Doctor Who has become so exclusive to such a small group of people who don't even watch the show, who don't even care about the characters, who don't even actually buy the merchandise or buy a poster, buy the posters or buy the merchandise or buy the DVDs. The fact that that it's not being made for the fans pisses me off. It honestly, sincerely does. If you're gonna look through, if you're gonna look through the world with woke lenses, if you're gonna look through everything if you're gonna look at everything with those with woke lenses, I'm sorry, you're missing out on the heart. You're missing out on emotion. You're missing out on the very things that make life worth living. Doctor Who Doctor Who is always for the fans. And it was always for people who could be fans. No one was excluded. Everyone was included. Sure, you didn't get to see a lot of ethnic faces around, but that was changing. That was changing. And in David Tennant's run, you had plenty of in David Tennant's run, and Eccleston's run, and Capaldi's run, and in the entire new series of Doctor Who, we saw companions with different skin colors, different sexual preferences, and did Doctor Who fans immediately reject the show because of that? No. No, they didn't. Because they see diversity. They see diversity and they accept it because they can accept a time-traveling man, doing the right thing, traveling through the universe to see it. They can accept a Time Lord. Not because he's white, but because if people were if you or I were in that situation that the Doctor's in, hell yeah, you would want to explore the universe. Hell yeah, you would want. Hell yeah, if you saw some injustice being done, you would do something about it. Hell yeah, you would do that. If you were in the Doctor's position, you would you would escape with the TARDIS too. You would escape from Gallifrey, from the other stiff and stodgy old Time Lords. You would travel the universe to see its wonder. You would travel through time. And if you saw something wrong, you knew was wrong, and you had the tools to stop it, you would. Now, the Doctor is never a conqueror. He would never take territory. He would just, he would leave. As soon as he solved the problem, he would leave, and then he would go on to the next adventure. But Chris Chibnall, Chris Chibnall and his ilk, they're not the Doctor. No, they would get entrenched. No, moment they left Gallifrey, him and his ilk, they'd become the dictators of literal, literal, whatever ball of mud they came across. And they would make things better in their image. What they believe to be right. What they want. That's the reality of Chris Chibnall and his ilk. And all the people that work around him. All the people that support social justice, quote unquote. Because there are people fighting for legitimate justice, legitimate social justice. But those people, what they've been co-opted by the radical extremists, and that's fucking sad. You want to know? You want to know how I see You want to know what a real social justice warrior is? Someone who goes out into the world, and you know what? They go out into the world, and they go try to fix a problem that's there. It's a job to them. Say they're like a real social justice warrior is a fireman, a policeman, a paramedic, a social worker, a person who works in mental health, who helps people out through addiction. People who go out of their way to Africa to give medical aid to folks and whatnot. People who build shelters in third world countries. They're the real social justice warriors, and the fact that the goddamn fucking radicals that want to tear down the government, they want to tear down the establishment, the fact that they want to get their hands into government and do that just fucking pisses me off. It honestly does. Because you know what? You want to know what happens when a system collapses and there's nothing to replace it with? You want to know what happens? It becomes a lawless fucking shit show. It becomes a lawless fucking shit show. There's plenty of evidence. There's plenty of evidence throughout history supporting that. You look at Africa, you look at a lot of a lot of failed states, and what happened to them when the system collapsed? Everything went to shit, everything was set on fire. That's the reality of Chris Chibnall and his ilk, and the people he writes for. That's the reality. They want nothing more to do than just destroy the system. That literally, they want to destroy the system and replace it. Maybe replace it. Maybe replace it with socialism, where the government hands everything to you. Is it right that the government hands everything to a person? Probably not. Probably not. Little bit of socialism when you need it, that's fair. But everything socialist? No. Free money handouts? No. I can't accept that. What I can accept is a government that taxes the wealthy proportionally to their wealth. I can accept that. Who injects money back into the country. They injects what I do support taxes that tax the wealthy, put the money back into the economy, put it back into our schools. You want to know what another social justice warrior is? In my eyes, it's the teacher. It's the teacher in a school that doesn't give up on a student who's struggling with reading and writing. That's what a real social justice warrior is, not all this fucking bullshit of people who just want to fucking tear everything down and replace it with goddamn fucking nothing. That's not what social justice is. That's what fucking anarchy is, folks. Fucking anarchy. Now, there's nothing wrong. No, there's nothing wrong with a slow transition into another system. There's nothing wrong with a slow transition into that, as long as that system is morally just. As long as the system has room for heart, you know? There's nothing wrong with transitioning from one system to another. Say you're transitioning from socialism to capitalism. There's nothing wrong with that. You do it slowly and over time. There's nothing wrong with slow transitions into morally just systems of governance. There's nothing wrong with that. If it's morally just, sure. The system you're putting in place is morally just, sure. But if it's nothing but oppression, then that's wrong, folks. What Chris Chibnall did to Doctor Who was not in the name of the Doctor, but for his own political agenda that he supports. I'm ending this video here because I'm fucking pissed off.